So what do you think about those black leaders who get married to white women?
Like who?
Frederick Douglass, for example, at the end of his life, was married to a black lady. I think he was like 50 years old when he got married to a white lady.
Much older than that.
Okay, all right, okay. And I think I know it. So what is your feeling about it?
Frederick Douglass married that white woman when he was approximately 10 years from his death. He was an old man.
All right.
And I don't have a problem with you bringing that up. It needs to be dealt with.
Of course, yeah.
But don't skip over the blue-black chocolate wife of 50 years. See, my problem with y'all in the media, y'all give the white woman more credit than the black woman who held him down.
No, I'm just asking.
Hold on.
I'm just asking.
I'm clarifying.
All right, yeah, go ahead.
Y'all give him more credit than the black woman who held him down. Y'all give him more credit than the black woman who helped him escape from slavery. Y'all give him more credit than the black woman that gave him 5 babies. He didn't have no babies with that white woman. He was an old man, and so was she. Was it right? No. Should he have done it? Absolutely not. And now as he looked back on it from heaven, I know he says to himself that I should have never made that mistake, because the only thing that keeps Frederick Douglass from being undisputedly the greatest black leader on American soil now is just arguably the greatest black leader on American soil is because he married that white woman. He shouldn't have done it. Does that undo the good? Absolutely not. But it's a contradiction, and it wasn't acceptable. But let's go a step further. Frederick Douglass's mother, my Aunt Harriet, was raped by Aaron Anthony, the white man who owned our family in Eastern Shore, Maryland. Being so-called biracial, I think that causes a little bit of confusion in Africans who are of mixed racial origin, which is another reason why we have to stop reproducing with non-African women. Not because those children are any less African than the rest of us. I consider a biracial brother or a biracial sister 100% African. But psychologically, it's hard for them to commit to the struggle when you have a parent who belongs to the race that is oppressing your people. So to eliminate the confusion, we have to stop mixing sun DNA with ice DNA. Neanderthals ain't got no business mixing with the original man.
Here in France, some people question your credibility. Are you aware of it? First, are you aware of it?
Finish the whole
Are you aware of it? Because, you know, in fact, they're asking, so they're wondering if you're a real doctor. And second point, they're questioning your family bonds with Frederick Douglass. So, of course, we're not going into, you know, whole history, but are you aware of it? And what is your answer?
A couple of individuals in my hometown of Philadelphia who I used to work with, who know I have all the degrees and credentials because we worked in the same school. Do you understand me? But because of jealousy and because their career never took off, many of them wanted to be what I am. They never got there. So they began putting out false information about my credentials. Now, here's the irony about the credentials, my doctorate degree. Anyone can call the university that I got it from right now and find out if I got a degree. So there's no need for controversy when you can pick up a phone and validate the degree. You understand me? So I'm going to say nothing else on that because that can be verified immediately.
Okay, all right.
Okay? As far, what was the other thing? That was the credential. Oh, Frederick Douglass. Let's deal with that. There's a coon within the extended Bailey family network who's ex-military, and I think FBI, who wanted to corner the Frederick Douglass quote-unquote market because he wanted to make money off the name of Frederick Douglass. Lectures, books, plays. So here comes Dr. Umar Johnson, a blood relative. My name is on the family tree. I don't make the family tree. I go to the family reunions. Everyone knows that I'm a relative, okay? But I've never attempted to get paid off the name of Frederick Douglass. I've never been paid a penny to speak on Frederick Douglass. I've never made a penny off his name. I am who I am because I am who I am, not because of who I'm related to. You understand? But this particular individual, he sees me as blocking his ability to corner the name of Frederick Douglass and exploit it for personal financial gains. Now, what they attempted to say was that I claim to be a descendant of Frederick Douglass. Show me where I've ever said that. I am a kinsman. That's on my autobiography. It's in my book, I Am a Kin. What exactly does that mean? That means Frederick Douglass, and you can read this in his narrative of the life, he grew up on Tuckahoe Creek with a cousin, Stephen. Okay. Cousin Stephen is my 4-time great-grandfather, Stephen Henry Bailey. Okay? I'm his 4 times great-grandson. So Frederick Douglass becomes an uncle/cousin because the 2 sisters, my grandmother Betsy and Frederick's mom Harriet, was raped by the slave master. Okay? And of course, because they were sisters, then naturally the children are cousins. So Frederick and Stephen are a half-brother, first cousin relationship, which makes Frederick Douglass to me a cousin as well as an uncle. Now, some people would still dispute whether the slave master was the dad. The proof I've seen is conclusive. But let's say they dispute that. Give them that argument. I'm still a kinsman because he was first cousin to my grandfather, and they grew up together, and he's the only cousin he mentions by name. Well, there's a few others, but he's the main cousin he mentions by name in his autobiographies. And all this is documented. Anybody can contact the family. See, that's another thing. I don't have to argue that. Pick up the phone, contact the Belly family, and get your answer. So none of this has to be controversial because there's sources that can validate this beyond Dr. Umar Johnson. But put it to the side. If I had no doctorate, if I wasn't related to the greatest black leader in American history, I'm still the most significant school psychologist in American history. I'm still one of the most significant Pan-Africanists since Marcus Garvey. I'm still the most requested black scholar on the face of the earth, all 7 continents. I've still done more to raise black consciousness on this planet than almost anybody you can name. So put that to the side. You still got to deal with me for what I've done, not for who I come from. Facts.
Okay. All right.